But no, the best thing I thought Garrett Crochet did yesterday is when Christian Campbell, who was, yes, playing second base, not first base, we'll get to that in a second, booted a double play ball right up the middle, booted the hell out of it. He turned to him, and it's going to be tough to describe, but just kind of like shrugged, put his palms up, just like, we're fine, relax, we're good, not a problem. You got an out, because he grabbed the ball and ended up tagging the base to get one out at second base. And to me, it was a important leadership moment for Garrett Crochet, because inside he's thinking, this kid just booted a ball that cost me a double play, that could cost me a run, that could cost me blah, blah, blah. Who knows? Cy Young Award. And he was a leader. And that's what you look for from your ace. It's not just the 100 pitches. It's not just the strikeouts. It's not just the win, even. He is leading because we've talked about this team lacks leadership. It lacks veterans.
Especially when the guy you pay handsomely to come in and buy everybody's suits, hit doubles, and be a leader is out for 2 months with a quad strain.
So I really thought that was a key moment of leadership opportunity for Crochet, and he passed with flying colors, just like he did on the mound. Now we got to get to the manager. Okay, so I get it. My old boss used to always say conditions on the ground changed. When you talk about, we're going to do this in a few days, but then something, you don't do that.
You can say his name, Fred Kirsch.
Fred Kirsch, conditions on the ground changed.
Living legend Fred Kirsch.
Living legend Fred Kirsch. So apparently it's living legend Abraham Toro, because they could not play Christian Campbell at first, because to play Christian Campbell at first, you'd have to not play Toro, and Toro is the greatest hitter in Boston since Ted Williams.
Okay, I actually am less surprised about the Crochet only throwing 85 pitches. Kind of blew my mind. I was very surprised, especially after I looked at the whites of Alex Cora's eyes and said, how about a complete game? And he goes, that'd be something. I felt betrayed. It hurt. However, this did not surprise me as much because
really?
When
he
you
said
split
Campbell on Sunday.
Probably.
And when
you split the first two games and you're in a game with Crochet against a really good pitcher for Atlanta as well, every run counts. And if he botches a play over there at first base, we would all be eviscerated.
What if he botches it at second? Because he did.
You had to put him in at first. Now you had to experiment in a game you needed to win. They got the moral boost they probably needed desperately by taking the series, riding Crochet's arm in a dominant performance. I'll give you a texter right here. Same number. Call, text 617-779-7937. You guys got that. Here it is right here. Who played first base? The guy who's hitting 300 and fielding like a gold glover, says the 978. Good move by Cora. If you play Campbell and Campbell strikes out 3 times, you'd be asking, why didn't he play the guy hitting 300? You guys are unbelievable. Well, Campbell played. He just played another base.
And also, it's not, he didn't just lie to us, and we're just having a little fun with this. Like, I don't really honestly care that he lied to me.
Ruining the man's reputation.
As I said, yes. I asked Bill Belichick questions for 20 years. He lied to me every time he answered, so I'm used to being lied to by managers and coaches.
Been like?
Yep, that guy. Pretends like he doesn't know what you're talking about.
Still my favorite. That's my new favorite line.
But Alex Cora had also told the local media prior to talking to us that at some point in Atlanta he would probably play. So he kind of narrowed it down to Sunday with us, but he had left the 3-game series open to the general media, and he didn't. And I know Toro's been hitting well, and I know Toro's been part of their success, but when do they look big picture and when do they look small picture, I guess is the point. Like the Crochet example of a perfect game. If you were looking big picture, you got to pull him early. If you're looking small picture, you leave him in the game and try to win a game. Like this is another example. In the big picture, are you a better baseball team with Christian Campbell playing some first base? Because you've decided you want Christian Campbell.
Potentially, if he can play at a reasonable major league level.
How are you going to find that out without playing him at a major league level?
So you had an opportunity. Level, yes.
And if you're going to start that, are you just waiting for the wheels to fall off Toro? Are you waiting for Dan Ball's guy, Romy Gonzalez, to come back? This whole back and forth pendulum of when they think short term, for example, Crochet. He's now thrown more than 100 pitches in 2 straight games. Hasn't done it 3 times. So is he getting pulled after 80 pitches next start?
65 times.
Right? Like, is that, or are we past that, and now because last time Cora told us that they were going to let him go until we don't let him go again. It's like this, maybe he needs to talk less. Does that mean, I know.
Alex Cora?
Yeah.
But he's so good at it.
Yeah, but he's now getting caught up in specific instances. He can keep saying a lot of words. Breslow says a lot of words. He just doesn't say anything in those words. I think Alex Cora, and I'm not advocating for this out of my job, my perspective. I'm advocating for it from his perspective. Keep talking, but less specific. Like, don't say Sunday if you think there's any real decent chance he's not going to play.
You could say the weekend or the upcoming series.
Soon. We're looking to
soon.
get him over at first and pretty soon. You know, he's getting better.
The near future.
The near future.
Maybe next week. Hyper specific would be like next week, not Sunday in Atlanta.
And because, I don't know, it just seems like it's starting to be another annoyance for him. And he's got enough annoyances with the ball club and the decisions he has to make and his relationship with Breslow and the analytics people and all these things. Maybe remove one of the annoyances and we're the annoyance.
I think I know what your first question is going to be when Alex Cora joins WEEI Afternoons, a.k.a. Well, This Is Awkward, tomorrow at 2:30 p.m.
I don't know what it is. So give me an option.
Well, number one would be,
why'd you lie to me?
Okay, there's one.
Yeah, but
option.
you'll have about a 30-second preamble where you're like, but you're the best and I love you, but why'd you lie to us?
That's called the run-up.
What if I just say, love you, mean it, but why'd you lie to us again?
How about that?
What if I just keep it simple like
Coach,
that? Say,
Alex,
love you, mean it, but why'd you lie to us again?
I think you'd appreciate that.
Alex,
I think you would too.
Alex, I really look forward to these conversations, and I hate to have to be rough with you, but you son of a bitch.
Yeah. Like, what are you doing?
Why'd you do that?
Lie to me once,
or how
shame
about,
on me. Lie to me twice.
Okay, I got another question for you. I got another question. Here you go. How about this? Did you see Richard Fitz? Did you see Richard? Did you order the? You're goddamn right, I did.
No, Breslow did. I don't get to do anything around here except collect a paycheck.
Did you see Richard Fitz throwing a perfect game last night?
What?
I don't know, because Richard Fitz is pitching tonight, so I'm just saying, like, imagine that.
I'm pretty sure that's not going to happen.
Or did you see
Trevor Story has turned it around? Did you see that coming? And do you think it'll last?
How about that? There you go. How about how important is it that Trevor Story hitting, is that the key to the offense? Is he the spark
Fitzy wanted
that
to
you
DFA Trevor Story. Now he's hitting. Do you want to say anything to Fitzy? That'd be a good question.
How about Fitzy was sitting right there behind you in the dugout? He was the one yelling, "Why did you lie to me?" all night long.
617-779-7937. No, I just caught up and looked at the call screener, and I see you guys lining up. And I always love when I see this. Mm-hmm. Joe in Melrose, quote, wants to defend Cora. So go ahead, Joe. What's up?
All right, how you guys doing?
Hey, Joe.
Yeah, I do want to defend Cora. I think he's being micromanaged. I think, like, the analytics, particularly Craig Breslow, giving him marching orders, and he has to go out and defend it. I think he wanted to pitch Crochet for a full game or more innings, not 85 pitches, and he told you that full well thinking he was going to have that authority. Then he gets handed the playbook that night from Craig Breslow. I mean, I think if it was Alex Cora had his way, he would bring up Roman Anthony. I mean, he said he's not knocking on the door, he's knocking the door down. I mean, you don't say that, and and then management's overruling him on all these decisions. And I think it's a mistake because when he gets to use his gut, I mean, he's a much better manager than he's just getting the playbook handed to him by the analytics department.
Thanks for the call, Joe.
See, more people talking about the nerds coming in
and
ruining the sport.
Yeah, but my pushback on that would be, and I am like Joe. I, at my core, look for ways to defend Cora, I feel like. I'm just going to put it out there. Like, I think that's the perception of me and maybe some of the reality. Mm-hmm. Did he not know that there was an analytics department and a person named Craig Breslow when he signed a 3-year, $21 million extension? Like, don't you know the job? Did they pull the wool over his eyes? Did things change between when he signed that extension late last year and how the team is being managed now? Because I find that hard to believe. I think he knew what he was getting into. I think he knew the way the organization has been run or the way Breslow wanted to run it, and he seemed quite comfortable with that going on. Now it seems like sometimes, as Joe said, there's these weird hiccups in their communication, where it almost feels like Alex gets ahead of himself and then they kind of rein him in with, oh, no, by the way, I heard you say that. You shouldn't have said that. We're not doing that.
Does he have to check with how many different layers of organization do you believe Cora needs to check with before he can make? You think it's just Brez?
Yeah, just Breslow.